Wait, what? You're not allowed to see that yet? Oh, phew. That's all the things that might be on in As It Occurs to Me. And people might be able to stop that and see it. Welcome to another Retro Leicester. I've been just taking some of the old nose cocaines, so I'm a bit hyped up. I drink them out of here. This is my nose cocaine. And if you've wondered what nose cocaines look like, here they are. In their natural form, I'm going to drip them on the keyboard. That's nose cocaines. You drink them through your mouth. That's why they're called nose cocaines. Just to put the police off on the old pigs. Because I love a little bit of taking drugs. You can see how much it's affected me. This is the Retro Leicester with Susan Calman. We are coming back very soon with more Leicesters. They start on June the 6th, the recordings. We record 2 a week, but don't tell the listeners and people at home that we do that because we like to pretend they're weekly. We've got a couple of guests we're able to announce already. On the 13th of June, we will have Ben Bailey-Smith, who you may know as Doc Brown, a fantastic rapper, comedian, children's author, all sorts of things. Annoyingly, just been on the Adam Buxton podcast, I discovered the day after I booked him. Damn you, Adam Buxton, stealing my guests. Anyway, we can both have them, it's fine. We have different approaches. On the 20th of June, we have Graham Linehan returning for a solo podcast. He was on with Armando Iannucci before. On the 27th of June, I haven't quite had the 100% confirmation, so I can't tell you who it is. But if you're a badge subscriber, you'll know who I think it's going to be. It's someone pretty good. So it might be worth taking a punt, because if you leave that one, it will set out the minute I announce it, I think. So, but there's no guarantees. There's no guarantees, of course, that any of the guests will turn up, though we've only lost one, I think, in the entire times we've done this. And if that happens again, of course, Michael Legg, we'll just call Michael Legg and he'll step in. That's his job. He's the super sub. As I keep saying, we haven't really thought of a way to fund this yet. So if you come and see the shows, that will help. Go to leicestersquaretheatre.com and look up for Rich Chang's Leicester Square Theatre podcast and you can buy tickets. That's got to help, right? And also, any badge money we get in June and July and May from now on will go to go towards the filming costs. I don't think it will cover it all, but there's 2 ways of subscribing. Go to gofasterstripe.com/badges. You can either just give a one-off donation in return for a badge or not, or you can do a monthly donation, I think also in return for a badge or not. And all of that money just gets ploughed back into making more podcasts. We don't pay ourselves out of that. Some of the money's going to go towards As It Occurs to Me, help us bump up the budget for that. And I think we will do a Kickstarter for all of the Leicesters, but the more we can, somewhere between the 2 series, but obviously the more we can get through those badges, the lower our target will be and the more realistic chance we have of making it. If we don't hit that target, I don't think we'll be able to film the next series, or we will go bankrupt. Just as we're starting off, me and Chris Evans, not that one, have set up a company to make these podcasts, and we're crazy. We don't care about making a profit, so all the money goes to making the podcast and paying the people who are involved in that, obviously. Anyway, let's crack right on. Do come and see us if you can. And I'm on tour actually this week still. British Tanks Happy Now. I'm in Chelmsford on Thursday. That's sold out. I'm in Cambridge on Friday. There's about 30 tickets left. And I'm in Didcot on Saturday. Similarly, not many tickets left. If you go to richtrain.com/gigs, you can see all the remaining gigs. I'm at the Leicester Square Theatre on June the 12th with the final episode of that. Final performance. I'm not going back and recording the whole thing for that mistake. And if you think I am, you're living in a dream world. Don't look at those things! Don't look at them! Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Leicester Square Theatre. Please welcome a man who's just putting the finishing touches to his Holocaust comedy film. It's Richard Herring! Thank you very much. Hello. Hello. Welcome to... Oh, you're much better than last week's audience. I've got to get a T-shirt of that, haven't I? I'll get a T-shirt of that, then I can just point at it, and then it'll be fine. Hey, welcome to Richard Herring's Leicester Square Theatre podcast, or as some of the cool people have begun to recently started to call it, Leicester.
Oh, we have had such an exciting week since last time. There's so much to talk about, the stuff that's been going on. I think I'll talk to the audience for a little bit. There's a man here, Tackline, wearing, that's a nice T-shirt. Where'd you get that T-shirt? And an I paid £1 badge. Look at that, it's not bad, is it? You enjoying your Me? Oh, I meant to give Harry Shearer that Me One versus Me Two cup. I wonder if it's too late to do that. It might be too late. Ah, well. I think you would have liked that, wouldn't you, Harry Shearer? A Me One versus Me Two cup. But you can get those from richardherring.cottoncart.com, those T-shirts. Oh, you've got one already. So let's see who we've got. Let's see if we've got anyone. These two are new. They've foolishly sat right in the front row, not knowing, very handsome couple, where it's actually the man deserves to be with a very attractive woman. He is good at... It's the first time this has ever happened. He's quite good looking, isn't he? I'm not saying you're not. I'm saying you are really good looking and he deserves it. I'm not saying, well, now look at him. But now we get close up. You've sort of got one of those faces. It's a bit like, when you put a mirror halfway down your face to see what that would look like. When you do that, your face just looks the same, doesn't it? As if you could see him, you'd be really laughing at that because you'd be laughing at his stupid, symmetrical face. Is that what you... what's your name? Caroline. Is that what attracted you? What's your name? Stuart. Did you get attracted to Stuart by his weirdly symmetrical face?
Bum.
His bum. How symmetrical is his bum? Because I can't see. I can see that's weird. I'm trying to get... I've got a crotch shot there. That is why it's worth buying the video, because me and Susan Calman are planning some... I'm going to take this backstage after the podcast. People who pay for that. There are people who like unusual porn. So what do you do? What do you do for a living, Caroline?
NHS supplies.
NHS pies? Oh, supplies. That would be... It wouldn't work, would it? NHS pies wouldn't work. That would be... It's a way of killing the patients. It's cheaper, isn't it? What do you supply?
Pacemakers.
Pacemakers. There's nothing funny about that, is there? There's people... Are you worried about computer hackers being able to stop people's pacemakers, like what happened in Homeland? Spoiler alert. And actually, I think someone tried to kill someone with it. Is that a concern?
Yes.
Yeah, got to be good. Well, I'm glad you're on top of that. What do you do apart from the male modelling and the putting the mirror down the centre of your face?
Financial advice.
You're a financial advisor. What financial advice can you give me? I've started doing a podcast video thing called Meaning of Life that's costing me £20,000 and no one wants to pay for it. What should I do?
Well, I saw your current guest, Susan Calman.
Yeah, my current guest, Susan Calman.
Last year in Edinburgh, and now I get her again.
Now you come to see her, Susan Calman again. It wasn't really an answer to my question. That's the way you financially advise people. I've got very bad trouble with my tax. Do you see... Have you seen Inglourious Bastards yet? It's good. Have you seen it? It's good. You should watch that. But it's nice to meet you. There's a big hairy man here. So that's old school. Richard Herring, Leicester Square Theatre podcast. Right, we don't get these anymore. There's one there as well. There's a couple. Look. When have you come down from the Canadian North? Trek down. Scotland, it is close. That was close. What are you, some kind of lumberjack up in Scotland? What do you do in Scotland?
I live in London.
Do you toss cabers around and do you pose on porridge boxes? No, you should do. I like that porridge with the mantle. You know that? You know the one. I can't give the brand name because, I can. It's Scotch. Old-fashioned. When you have porridge, because I'm presuming you do all the time, due to you being Scottish, or Scotch, as I like to call it. Do you have old-fashioned oats, or do you have the smaller, new-fashioned oats in your porridge? I like porridge. I'm really interested in porridge. I'm an expert at making porridge, and that's not a euphemism. I make porridge. I give my wife porridge in bed every morning. It's not a euphemism. What's your favourite one?
Small.
Small? You're not a proper Scotchman at all. Do you use water or milk in your porridge? Well, he's turned to his wife. I hope it's his wife. She's making you porridge. She better be your wife. She's your wife. What do you put in the porridge? Water. Oh, so that is hard. That is proper old school. Do you use salt or sugar in the porridge? I might just stick with you two for the whole podcast. It's a mainly porridge based. So Some people aren't as interested. Oh yeah, you're from Scotland, aren't you? I forgot. I should probably have thought that through. Thought, why are these Scotch people doing that? Oh, it's there because of her. That's what it is. Good, yeah, well, that's very nice. That's good to see. Well, look, I think Susan Calman is itching to come on stage. So will you please welcome my guest this week. She is probably best known as the sandwich lady on Danny's House, although, of course, she was also a woman on a bus in the TV series Legit. Will you please welcome, not ringing any bells for this audience, Susan Calman, ladies and gentlemen. Susan Calman, welcome to the show. Now, you should take that jacket off because it's quite hot up here.
It's surprisingly warm. Oh, hiya. It's surprisingly sweaty.
It is. Well, it's, you know, there was a lot of sexual chemistry between me and Mr. Shearer.
I was watching it.
Yeah,
I
it's nice.
felt slightly awkward at times.
Do you know how old Harry Shearer is?
70.
He's 70 years old. That is unbelievable. He looks about 90.
Oh, you big sausage.
No, he's what an amazing man. He's as better or backstage, as good or better backstage.
Yes,
He's
absolutely.
giving great conversations
Yeah.
backstage, telling me all sorts of stuff. He said he'd come back on again. Right now, if you like, we can get rid of Susan. How are you doing, Susan? What do you remember about being the sandwich lady on Danny's House, which is quite a recent performance?
I remember it very, very clearly because
Yes.
I did a Cockney accent.
Did you?
They didn't want me to do it. I just did it. Because sometimes I don't feel my talent for accents is utilised enough. And so I did it as a Cockney. Do you want a packet of crisps?
That's good. I don't find that at all offensive.
No.
Because I was in a Scottish children's TV programme where I was the porridge man. I came in, okay, here and the porridge. It's made with salt.
Yeah.
That is what you sounded like. That is exactly what you're saying. That doesn't sound like it to you, does it? That's the weird thing. That's the weird, your voice never sounds.
It's always weird when you hear yourself back and you realise that's actually what I sound like.
Harry Shearer said I could send my voices into The Simpsons. We all heard him.
You're quite excited about him being on, aren't you?
I was, yeah. I'm not that excited about you being
No,
on.
I know that.
It was always going to be an anticlimax.
I'm going to put that on my Edinburgh poster. Susan Calman. It was always going to be an anticlimax. Richard Herring.
No. That's the only kind of climax I can get these days, to be honest. I'm 46
Now, you're a
years
virile
old.
man. Don't
I'm
let
very-
anyone tell you otherwise.
Very, very old.
Yeah.
So what was Danny's House? Was it the girl from Tracy Beaker?
It was the girl from Tracy Beaker, and I played the sandwich lady. There's really nothing... I'd like to say it was a Meryl Streep type performance where I, butterflied into some form of beautiful war criminal that was hidden in Danny's house. But I was just the sandwich lady, and I just went, "Do you want crisps?" And that was it, to be honest. I remember it very fondly. Very few people do.
Danny does as well. Danny remembers it.
Yeah.
Anyone see Danny's House?
One man over there.
Yeah, what were you watching? Why were you watching Danny's House, you pervert? It's for kids. I fancy that Tracy Beaker. Yeah, she's over 18 now. Now it's the Hermione Granger syndrome, isn't it? It's allowed now. It's all right. I had to be well behaved for Harry Shearer.
All
I'm
right, so it's all coming out now. It's all coming out. All the pent-up sexual tension. It's all coming out, spewing on top of me.
So you've hot-footed it over, and we can't talk about it because it hasn't been on TV yet. We can't talk about what happened.
No,
But
we can't
you've
talk about what happened.
You've been in the new series of Celebrity 15 to 1.
Celebrity 15 to 1. Celebrity.
It's hard when there are 15 to get to get for them all. For them all.
Yes, it was stressful.
Was it?
It was really fucking stressful. It was really quite difficult, and
Yeah,
I
it's
forgot
a
lots of
tough
things.
quiz.
It's a very tough quiz,
Not
and
as tough as Pointless like I was on.
And I was standing next to Patsy Kensit, and that threw me. Because I just turned around and went, that's fucking Pansy Kent. Jesus. So yes, it was interesting. It was quite stressful. It went on for quite some time. Can't tell you what happened.
I know.
I disgraced myself at one point quite horrifically.
Did you?
That's all I'm going to tell you is there is one question and I will be slaughtered on Twitter. I mean fucking slaughtered.
Well,
As the words came out of my mouth, I thought, just put hashtag Calman is a dick on now.
if it makes you feel better when my celebrity point is finally on, just look at my Twitter. You'll have a good time.
Yeah.
But I love quiz shows, and you're hosting a quiz show.
I am, yes.
What? So tell us about that.
On Scotch
In
TV.
Scotland. Yeah. Will it come on to English TV?
No. It's only for the Scottish.
Is it like Limmy's show? People we won't be able to understand it down here.
Yeah, because it's just me going
confusing.
rotten tutton all the time. And we all wear kilts, and it's just Lulu. So she's the only contestant for 8 episodes. I mean, we enjoy it in Scotland, but I'm hosting a new quiz show which is on 31st of March, which was great because I got to be like a proper shiny game show host with a proper suit and do things straight to the camera and go, have you spotted the lie? We'll find out after the break. Yeah, it was amazing. It was brilliant
I
fun.
think you'd be good at that.
Thanks.
I'm looking forward to not being able to watch it. It'd probably be on like a Sky channel 475.
Yes, I mean, you could find it if you really wanted to.
Yeah, if I really
It's on
so.
8 o'clock on a Monday night after Coronation Street. If you wanted. Yeah, it's a prime time slot, mate.
It's not
I'm
bad.
doing not bad up there. Down here, no respect. Up there, I'm carried on the shoulders of pixies.
So, I'm going to do this straight away because this is always
Have
good
you
fun.
done some research, Richard?
Yeah, I've done mainly...
If you've ever listened to the Edinburgh podcast, you'll know that Richard never bothers to do any research. He does lots of research about everyone else in the podcast.
Look
And I
at-
turn up and you go,
Look at Harry Shearer. Look at
Yeah.
that. I can barely read it. It's so dense.
Yeah.
Not even a page and a half. But this is my main research now. If it is a British comedian, Harry Shearer couldn't have had... I don't think I would have done this with Harry Shearer because the respect issue would have got in the way. There's a website. In a way, isn't it better to be disrespected, though? In a way, isn't it? Isn't it that we feel that, I feel like we're friends, that I can
Do
be
you?
rude to you?
it's good that you think that, Richard.
Yeah, that's good. It just feels like that. Only on stage. My wife says that on stage I come alive, and but off stage I'm very grumpy and miserable all the time.
Really?
Yeah. So.
No.
So but I think it's partly because she's never on stage with me, bringing me down with them. Nah. That got too big a laugh. Okay, she's not. I don't think she's here today.
No. Wow.
She said she might come along, but I don't think she did. There's a website, have you seen this, called Dirty Britcom Confessions?
I saw it.
Yeah.
I looked at it.
Yeah.
I looked to see if I was on it.
Yeah.
And then I looked no further.
Well, I'm going to tell you if you are on it, and you are on it.
Yes.
But it's quite a sweet... Well, it's not. It's a bit weird. So what it is, it's fantasies that people have had.
Uh-huh.
That of you, of British comedians, and it goes into like Arthur Lowe is there's some of him. There's
Well,
one
if
of
that's the standard, I'm glad I'm there.
Stuford. There was a new one of them. People are now trying to do me so that they'll get on this because I mention every week. So I'm not going
Alright.
to give them the oxygen of publicity. There's one about me being in a bath full of flour, which I did for another
Flour?
show. Yeah, it was a long
That's
story.
not practical for sex.
Well, I wasn't doing it for sexual purposes.
Okay, sorry.
But the person who saw it was getting off on it. Anyway, but I don't think they really were. Yours are quite sweet, and as were Josie Long's a couple of weeks ago. I'd love to spend a weekend with Susan Calman and her cats, and her amazing accent. And
Yep.
maybe some mutual fingering. But maybe only if you both have enjoyed. Only if you both enjoyed the cats and the accent.
Please tell me someone hasn't actually written that.
That's written down. That is online. That is someone's fantasy of you. That's like that. It's just casual. Look at the cats. Both of you do. It'd be both mutually. As I understand it,
That's what
you do.
That's what we do. We've had this discussion before about what you think we do in bed.
Yeah,
and it really is about kind of, if you just wave at someone and then bring it down. That's really all it is. That's the lesbian way of doing things, yes. Like a drop of rain.
I've touched a lady, so I know what it's like.
Wow.
Yes, I thought I misread Susan as Sudan there, which really confused me. I was what? I would like to be locked in Susan Calman's lift, preferably with Sandy Toksvig. I think with both
a
of you.
threesome with Sandy.
Have you got a lift, or is that just?
I don't have a lift. What, do they think I live in a fucking mansion or something?
Maybe a block of flats.
I live in a block of flats,
Yeah.
but there's merely stairs.
Okay.
It's a tenement. He knows about tenements. It's a tenement. You don't get a lift in a tenement.
No. Well, that's not going to happen,
The
then,
close, that's what it's called. The close. Yeah.
Do you think that there's any chance? I was seeing someone. This reminds me of a thing I saw in the Guardian today. They were doing it. There was an interview. I was in the Observer. There was an interview with Scarlett Johansson about all the Soda Stream and things she's done wrong, and her film where she's an alien. And then someone underneath, one of the comments was a bloke going, "Oh, it's a shame I've heard that she's pregnant because one of my fantasies was to have sex with Scarlett Johansson, and now that's ruined." Which, like, on a lot of levels, is a terrible, terrible thing to say. But I mean, for me, the main bit is, yeah, that wasn't going to happen anyway. So just. You can keep that fantasy. She just doesn't.
Yes.
She doesn't get pregnant in the fantasy.
Yes.
If that really bothers you.
So what you're saying is, even though I don't have a lift, that fantasy would still be okay for that.
It's all right for them to have it. Do you
Person.
think there's any chance of you and Sandy double teaming a fan? Just so they know. Just so they know they're not wasting their time.
I would say no.
Okay.
I mean, I haven't asked Sandy directly if she would double team for some mutual fingering.
Maybe I'll get her on and say you were up for it and see what she says.
Oh my God.
And then there's
another one.
There's one more. I want to have fun, banter, and sex with Susan Calman, or just have tea and chocolate biscuits and listen to squee about her cats. Either or.
Okay. That's not good though, because that means that people are just happy to sit and have a cup of tea with me.
They are, well, that's
as
two of them.
opposed to bang me senseless.
Yeah. Well, she wants to, but I think, would you want to have fun banter during sex? Is that something you would do? I imagine.
I don't tend to.
No.
I tend to concentrate quite hard.
Yeah.
So that I'm impressive.
Yeah.
Because if you're all hey,
Yeah.
then they don't tend to call again.
No. Well, I tried to put jokes in with my wife, but she doesn't like it when I'm joking during.
No, I
For
don't.
some reason, she finds I don't mind women laughing at me in bed. For some reason, if I make a joke, she laughs and it puts her off.
Right. No, I'm focused on the business at hand.
Yeah, that's good to know. Well,
Yeah.
we've learned a lot about you. What I like is there'll be a certain...
Is that the research?
That's
Please
the
tell me
research.
that's not
That's
the only
it.
research.
That's it, and
that
that's...
you've been on one slightly dirty website and copied out other people's fantasies about me, one of which involves mutual fingering. Is that it?
That's it. I've got another from another interview. Another interviewer said that you had the tiniest hand she'd ever seen on anyone over 8 years old. I don't know if we've talked about this before. But I've got very tiny hands.
You do?
That is my thing. That is my bit.
Oh.
So another comedian can't come along with tiny hands. So we might have to have a handoff, a mutual hand, and see who's got the smallest hand out of the two of us. I think you might. Oh my goodness, I feel like a giant.
I have very tiny hands.
You've got a really tiny hand. I've only really met about four or five people who've put their hand against mine, who've got smaller hands than mine, who are adults. And that sounds like... that sounds like I go doing that to lots of kids, and I don't do that. There are loads of kids.
No.
I'm just saying the people who, I don't do it to kids because I presume their hands are smaller than mine. My hands are the exact same size and shape as Hermione's from Harry Potter. That is, this bloke's going to be fucking creaming in his... Look at that. Imagine that, mate. As the adult Hermione, though, not the child Hermione. So I don't know if that makes you feel. And so I do a joke about that, and subsequently, and I did a bit in Headmaster Somewhere, because I've got freakishly tiny hands.
Yes.
I thought. And then, and then I realised that when I was 16, I saw it in a photo, and I thought I'd never have sex with anyone because of my hands.
Because of your hands?
Yeah.
But people don't look at the size of your hands before they decide whether not to have sex
They
with
do.
you.
I thought they did. I thought they looked. They were
They
weird.
do look really weird.
Imagine those on Hermione's, on the end of Hermione's arms.
Well, on the end of Hermione's arms, anything's beautiful. And mine are in proportion because I've got size 2 feet.
Have you?
People are going, oh, someone that short actually allowed to live. And I wear size 4 trainers because I think I look weird if I wear shoes that fit me, which is why I fall over all the time. Because my shoes are 2 sizes too big for me. Because if I wear size 2, my jeans actually come over the front of where my toes are. And it looks like I've not got any feet.
And do they sell size 2 shoes?
They do. In children's shops. My sister is 4'7" and she wears a size 12 shoe. What? Yeah, she's my mum's 4'8".
Right.
Yeah.
There's some genetics in this somewhere that's explaining all. Robert Llewellyn used to work in a cobbler's shop, and the biggest shoe that they made was a size 19.
Wow.
Imagine that on your foot.
That would be a big
That'd be
shoe.
taller than you.
Yes.
If you fell over, you would be taller with your
Yeah.
shoes. The size 19. You are the smallest person we've ever had on Rich Chang's Leicester Square.
Wow.
Podcast.
That's amazing. Thanks. Makes me feel very special.
And there was no prejudice about it.
Nope.
So the team got together and I said, she's small, is that all right? And they said, yeah, that's fine, we'll treat her just like everyone else. Except we'll talk about her being small quite a lot.
That's
but
fine.
Greg Davies is the tallest. Have you
Yeah.
ever stood next to Greg Davies?
I have. I once got into a show at the Edinburgh Fringe with him by pretending to be a rucksack. And I went on his back and we walked in. I felt like one of those Garfield rucksacks.
That feels like such a setup, but that was not a setup.
No. Yeah. When I was on 15 to 1 today, I had to have my own box.
Yeah.
I had to stand on a box. Which was slightly humiliating. As they brought out, oh, I've got the box for Calman! And then I was the same height as Matthew Wright.
Really?
Who knew?
Yeah. He's quite, he's smallish, is he?
5'7" or something. It was a
Oh,
big
that's the
box.
same-
It was
that's
an
the same
unnecessarily large plinth they put me on.
It's amazing that someone small and someone tall can still make it in the same job. It's amazing. So you and Greg Davies. It doesn't matter. You can be freakishly tall or really small. You can still
Surely
do all
that's why
right.
comedy's good.
No,
That's-
being in the middle, being exactly average height is the best for comedy.
Is it?
5'7" is
Yeah.
the best.
Is that the best?
170
Empirically,
centimetres.
that's the best height.
It is.
What height's Stuart Lee?
Not the correct height. I think he's 5'9". I think he is.
Ah.
He used to stand next to me and to make himself look tall. People were surprised. He backfired because people are surprised when they meet me. I bet people think you're taller than they're expecting, though. I think they... people are imagining you about the size of a backpack. That's what I'm thinking.
People are often slightly surprised. One of the things that always happens is when people want to get their photograph taken with, which does happen occasionally, Richard.
Yeah.
There are people who enjoy my work. People always bend down.
Yeah.
And I always want to shout at them, just stand up, it's all right. Just put the camera further back. It's just always people going,
But I get that as well.
do you?
Yeah. I mean, I'm small.
You're not
for
small.
For a man, I'm smallish.
Well.
There's lots of tall people in the world. It fascinates me. I'll ask you an emergency question.
Oh,
'cause,
good.
Not going very
Have you
well.
got any questions?
So, I'm really. I wouldn't. If it was going badly, I wouldn't say that. I would. I'm having a lovely time. Thank you. I'm overexcited. It's the exact same last time. Danny Baker was on first, and I couldn't speak because he was talking all the time. And then I came on and couldn't shut up because I was allowed to speak.
Yeah.
And I'm doing the same thing now because I was...
Listen, it's fine. It's your show.
It's not. It's your show.
It's really your show, isn't it?
No,
It really is your show.
It is my show. I don't know what I was thinking. I nearly gave my show away there. That was stupid. If you had to choose between having a hand made out of ham and an armpit that dispensed sun cream, which of those two things would you have?
No question.
Well, there is a question. The question is, which would you rather have? You might not...
No real decision to be made. Armpit.
Really?
Suntan lotion.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you'd have gone for the ham hand.
No, because then you would eat your hand.
Well, you can eat it, and if you bothered to listen to the follow-up stuff, you'd have found out it would grow back as long as you didn't eat all of it.
Well, I know I'd eat all of it.
Oh, yeah, okay. And the sun cream, I just thought you're from Scotland, that's no use to you. An anorak, if it was a
pack-a-mat.
Yeah.
To be a pack.
Wrapped. Just a
That's
swathes
just
of
cling
waterproof
film then.
material.
It's just a cling film dispenser under my arm. No, I could make some money out of it. I would just stand in a sunny country and say, would anyone like some sun cream? That's €5.
Yeah, we can only have up to one bottle a year, though.
No, that's not in your
I know,
written
but
down
you didn't.
bits.
You'd leapt in. That's these extra bits of a people
Where's
like you.
the question
It's like,
written
can I
down
have
that
3
says-
wishes? I want a sausage. I wish that sausage was on your nose. That's what you've just done. I gave you an amazing choice.
Yes.
You just leapt in before you knew what it was. It's as much sun cream as one person could reasonably use in a year. So you could sell it to one person and make
Well, no. If you
£25.
could sell it for people's faces,
Yeah.
you don't need to sell it for everyone's body.
How much are you going to sell it for their face? Their face?
£50.
Well, they won't buy it because you can get a whole...
I'll say it's
You
Clarins.
can get a whole... But, you know, I was... If you were walking around on a beach,
Yeah.
like going, do you want enough sun cream for
Yeah.
your face? I will be coming out of my armpit. Is
Yeah.
£50. I'd just go to the shop and buy some that I know
Well, I'll
is
tell you what, I'd
definitely
sell
all
it for £100 to each of those 3 people that fantasise about me.
right. Okay, yeah, they would.
And I'd
they
make
would.
£300.
You would, that's
I'd
true.
just give them mayonnaise.
If you had to choose between... I'm just going to ask you these for the rest of the podcast.
Yep.
If you had to choose between having a tit that dispensed talcum powder...
Yes.
It might not be what you're expecting. It is what she's expecting. Or a finger that could travel through time.
Oh, that's a question I've never heard before.
Yeah, which of those would you have? And it would be unlimited talcum powder, I'll let you know that. And the
This is unlimited, the
Yeah,
talcum
the
powder.
finger-
Unlike the suntan lotion, which
Yeah.
was strangely restricted.
There's different rules. It's got... Because that isn't as good, is it?
It's almost like you're making this up, Richard.
But your finger can travel backwards and forwards in time, just like it could go back a couple of minutes and just poke me in the face for
Right.
saying something rude.
Yep.
Or it could go back to and go in a dinosaur's cloaca
Yep.
if you wanted to. For some it wouldn't be mutual because their A, dinosaurs don't have fingers, and B, their fingers can't travel back through. It's a one-way finger system. Well, it's not meant to be a sexual thing, the finger through time. The penis through time, that is a more sexual... That's a more sexual question. But the finger, it can make it sexual.
I'm just waiting to know if I've heard all the rules.
Pretty much, I think, yeah.
Are you sure? So
Yeah.
when I make my decision, you're not going to come and go, oh, well, actually,
You
what I meant
can-
was the finger was...
I wouldn't say that. I'd have actual...
I don't like talcum powder.
Yeah, that makes it easier.
I don't like talcum powder. I find talcum powder weird and offensive.
Wow, why'd you find it offensive?
It reminds me of having a veruca sock at school.
Oh,
And I used to have quite a lot of verucas. I'm not
Caroline
dirty.
had a veruca.
She had a veruca.
Do you know about the verucas when you got together? No. Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are contagious as well, mate.
Yeah.
Wear slippers in the bathroom.
Do you know,
Yeah.
I once had such... No, you don't want to hear that
I do.
story.
Definitely want to hear it.
I once
This is
had-
where I love these questions when they get. You think it's just a trivial, stupid question about talcum powder? No. Suddenly, Susan Calman
veruca.
is 4 years old.
Yeah.
Veruca. How old were you when you had your veruca?
Well, I would say about, 11. Let's say 11.
yeah.
Let's put it around that age. I once had such a big veruca on my big toe that I had to go to hospital for it. and they put some special stuff on it. And then when they took it off, half my toe was missing. I'm all right now.
Did it grow back?
Yeah, the toe grew back. The
That's why
verruca didn't.
It's almost like you had a foot made of ham.
Yes. So talcum powder reminds me of verruca socks,
Yeah.
which reminds me of swimming at school, which I hated
Yeah.
because it was stupid. And so I'll have to take the finger that travels back and forward through
And
time.
you could take it back through time, and when your foot was going to stand on whatever gave it a verruca,
Poke
just
me.
lift the foot up with your finger, and it wouldn't.
I would go back in time and poke Helen Mirren.
Helen Mirren, at what point in her life? You could do that now. You don't need a time travelling finger. Just find Helen Mirren and
can't
poke her.
poke Helen Mirren. I have tried.
Okay.
She has got quite a lot of security. I love Helen Mirren.
You love her, so you want to
Love her.
poke her in a nice way.
Love Helen Mirren.
Yeah.
Like in a, I love her.
If there was a Brit actors website, would you put an entry in there? Yeah.
I love her. I mean, I don't want to wear her skin.
No. There'd be a bit left over, to be honest.
I would just use some bulldog clips at the back. Oh, I love her.
She's good.
She's not good, Richard.
She was in the remake of the film Arthur.
Well, we've all done things we regret, Richard. I went to see her in the West End when she played the Queen.
Yeah.
My wife had to spend the whole performance just with her hand across me so I didn't run on the stage and shout, "Do DCI Jane Turner,
I think you should have done that. That should happen more at the theatre. Because that's why people are going, right? When you have a
What?
famous person on in a theatre, like it's a TV star, you should be allowed to shout who they are, their catchphrases,
Yeah.
and who they are on TV.
Yeah.
Whatever they're in Shakespeare, whatever.
Yeah. Just shout out.
Yeah. 'Cause
Yeah.
that's why they're there, and you've paid like 50 quid probably to go and see them.
Absolutely.
So you should be allowed. Everyone should be allowed one. Just have a shout. I'd be shouting out, "You were shitting Arthur! Why did you do that? Why piss on the
Not to
graves?"
Helen.
I would, yeah. I would do that. So,
Do you want to ask me any questions about my craft? Or
no.
anything? You always ask other people questions about what they do, their work,
Yeah.
and, the successful things that have happened
Yeah.
in their career.
That's what it's harder
and
with you.
their,
It's harder with you to do that. I brought up
Why
the fucking.
do I say
brought up your
yes to
fucking
this?
game show, didn't I? No one's seen that yet. It might be shit. So I was nice about that. Well, you have done some stand-up comedy. What was that like?
Yeah, it was fine.
Where'd you get your crazy ideas from?
Oh, this is beautiful. It's like an interview at the Fringe with a student newspaper. Do ask me all those questions they always ask us at the Fringe about
Do
how...
you prefer doing TV or live stuff?
Well, it depends. I enjoy doing both because audiences are very, very different.
Yeah.
I love the immediacy of live audiences, but I also like the craft of television.
If I was stuck in the lift with you and Sandy Toksvig,
Yes. Yes.
how long do you think it would be? We'd have to be in the lift before you both had a threesome with me.
A while. A while, I think, Richard.
Yeah,
It would take us a while to come round to the whole idea.
If you discover we were trapped in a lift and then we found out that everyone else in the world had been killed,
Yeah.
and it was up to us to repopulate the earth, you, me, and Sandy Toksvig, would you bother? Or just go, "Oh, well, we had a good run of the human race."
I think we'd suggest it was natural selection and we should just leave it.
I just imagine a future world populated by you, me, and Sandy Toksvig's children. It would be
Well,
like
they would be...
it'd be like Hobbiton. Sorry, I will ask you. Well, you did a really good interview with Stuart Goldsmith.
Oh, thanks very much,
Yeah,
Richard.
but it's
Did
like
you listen
Brett.
to it?
I did listen to it. I love that
wow.
podcast. It's a really... Comedian's Comedian.
Yeah, great
it's
podcast.
It's up against this for the Chortle Award for Best Internet Show.
Wow.
But, it won't win because this is better. Oh, no, I've turned into that. I've got to that Ricky Gervais moment, haven't I, where... And now I've won that award too many times to joke about. No, it's really good. It should win, but also we're up against Netflix, which I would say is a slightly unbalanced competition.
Netflix?
Well, best internet thing, Stuart Goldsmith, Alex Horne, Richard Herring, or Netflix, where you have access to thousands of years of comedy and film.
Do you know, it's sometimes, that's an unfair... I'm nominated for... Don't, please, this is quite important to me, Richard. I've been nominated as Celebrity Gay of the Year.
I think you should just be the gay of the year.
Yeah. Do you know who I'm up against for
No.
Celebrity Gay of the Year? Sir Ian McKellen,
Well, that's good.
Boy George, and Dixie from Casualty. I know who I'm voting for. Dixie from Casualty.
I'm unaware of her work. Is she a lesbian or is the character lesbian?
She is both a lesbian and plays a lesbian.
Because that wouldn't be fair, would it? If just like, because then if they just let anyone do it, I'm just gonna do a gay character on here. Would you like to see that?
I would. Let's all sit back and watch this character develop. Excuse me.
It's hard to do.
Come on, Richard.
I'm holding a microphone.
Let's improv the shit out of this.
I'm holding a microphone, so I can't do both of the gestures that I need to do. I have to choose one of them. Ooh. Hello, I'm Rich Turing. I hope I win Celebrity of 2015. I like sucking men's cocks. That is one of the things, but that's not all that defines me. Also speaking in a slightly higher voice.
I feel a
doesn't sound any
Stonewall
different.
Award coming up, Richard, for your services to the gay community.
I'm hoping to win Best Celebrity Chinaman.
Could somebody bring me a drink? Could I have another Heineken? Because this is developing into something of a career-breaking interview. And I'd like to be drunk when my agent gets the call that I'm now banned from children's BBC after being on racist comedian Richard Herring.
Racist,
Homophobic.
I haven't done women yet. I'll get on to women next.
I haven't done women yet. Wow. Is this the kind of comedian you really want to be, Richard? Isn't it a shame when people are all, thanks very much.
Look at that.
When people are all like, oh, I'm right on, I'm all whimsical and I'm all... Thanks very much. I'm all right on and I'm all whimsical and I'm all fucking lefty, and actually deep down you're Bernard Manning. That's what you are. It's what you want to be, isn't it?
I am not like Bernard Manning. Bernard Manning didn't. I'm doing it in an ironic way.
Oh.
Does that make me...
Oh, I love it when people do those kind of jokes in an ironic way.
I know what I'm doing is unacceptable. Does that make me better than Bernard Manning or much, much worse?
Yeah.
So,
Sorry, Richard.
That's all right. Well, let's get on to the proper comedian. I can't now ask you about your depression. We've just been... Go. So I understand you suffer from depression.
Yes, it's because of homophobic bullying I've suffered throughout many years. People just don't take me seriously. I don't know why. Well, no, you're the interviewer. Segue into it in a nice way.
I'll segue into...
Try and make the crowd settle down, ask the question, do the whole thing. Come on, Richard.
Okay. What do you prefer, being on Radio 4 or doing this podcast?
Have you gone away from depression?
Yeah, I'm gonna work my way up to it.
All right.
I'm gonna make...
Now everyone's
first...
just waiting for when that's going to happen.
Yeah.
What do I prefer? Radio 4 are doing this?
Yeah, doing this podcast.
I really like Radio 4.
Do you? Yeah.
But I really like this as well,
Oh, that's good,
Richard.
that's
I don't like to pick favourites.
Okay. So I understand you get depressed sometimes.
Christ, that was seamless, Richard. You could be a therapist. That was really brilliant. I mean, some would say that, you know, you're not very good at sensitive subjects. I would say, yeah.
It would have been inappropriate to go straight from the Chinaman bit into that, but with the other bit in between, we'll come back to it. So, I'll get some pictures of some dead kittens.
Why?
To get you depressed.
I don't need a trigger to be depressed. The issue was you as an interviewer, being a better interviewer, to ask me the question without it seeming in some way crowbarred into just another sentence. It's you that's the problem, not me that's the problem.
Harry Shearer said I was good. He said backstage I was good.
Sure, Harry Shearer did. He's 70. I'm not.
So you used to be a lawyer.
Do you take any responsibility for how these conversations go, Richard?
No.
Any responsibility?
It's a two-way street. The thing is, it wouldn't happen. You have goaded me into it. That is what's...
I have goaded you
You've
into
goaded me. You've made me.
Are you seriously saying I'm goading you into things?
Yeah.
Bloody hell. Quite weak-willed, aren't you, Richard?
You know what you're doing.
I do.
Oh, I'll tell you what, I just thought there was really bad. Thank God I didn't say it. Sometimes... No. Oh, God, no.
Oh, no. Listen, we've dropped the line at the Chinaman. God knows what he was going to say there.
God.
Come on. If he does anything...
I'll say it in a gay Chinese accent. Good luck in the celebrity gay.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When did you find out?
Sometime soon. I'm going to lose to Richard. Yeah, they'll embrace him with open arms after this is shown. Go on now, Richard, ask me a question. Come on.
I will ask you a question.
He's got no notes. He has nothing. He has nothing.
Well, let's talk about equal marriage, because we've both recently got married.
Yeah. 2 years ago, but...
Yeah, that's 2 years ago for me. It feels just like yesterday to me. Maybe it's dragging for you. But now you can, in Scotland, in the autumn, you've had a civil partnership.
Yes, we did.
But you can now get married in the autumn. And are you going to get married in the autumn?
Yes, we are.
Are you just doing it for another round of presents?
No, there'll be no presents. What we're going to do is we're going to get married on the... we're going to get married the two... Well, we have to upgrade or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And then we're going to have spend all our money on a giant party for everybody to celebrate equality finally happening in Scotland.
Can I come?
So... Can you come, Richard?
Can I come? I'll celebrate equality by dressing up as the gay character I do to show it's inclusive.
Well, do you know, Sandy Toksvig is coming to the party,
really,
so it's maybe your chance.
Just need to find a lift.
No, we're just going to have a big party, because I didn't think I would ever see the day where we had equality in Scotland. It's absolutely wonderful, and so we're going to have a giant party to celebrate.
And it's not happening in England, or is it happening in England?
It is, yes, before it is in Scotland.
Oh, is it?
Yes, it's happening very soon here, and then it's happening in Scotland in the autumn. It's both been passed, the legislation, in both parliaments, but they have to make sure it's in law, so they have the transitionary arrangements. Next week.
Stop joining in, it's not about you. It's just getting overexcited. I had to stamp him in the face. It's happening next week. Well, that doesn't mean anything, because that was a few weeks ago. But well, it's too late. I got married to a woman, didn't I? I wrecked it. I thought there'd never be gay marriage. I might as well. I waited 44 years for it. I'm thinking, well, they bring this in so I can marry a man. And then I thought, by the time I was 40, I better get married. I'd marry some woman I've met. And then... within 2 years, suddenly I can marry men, double the choice out of... I could have married that bloke. Imagine what fun we would have had together. Him interrupting me while I'm trying to do my serious podcast.
What was the question?
I don't know. What I would like to say, I don't think you should settle for equal marriage.
No?
I would like to bring in a law where gay marriage gets an extra thing that heterosexual people aren't allowed, sort of super marriage.
Like?
It's called double marriage.
Double marriage.
Marriage squared.
Marriage squared,
and it's more holy and it's better and God prefers it. and heterosexual people for the next 2,000 years aren't allowed to do it.
Yes.
Only just to piss off the people who didn't.
God prefers
Yeah,
it.
God prefers
I think that's where we're going to come in with the sticking point, to be honest. In my experience, it's not Christianity itself. That's many Christians are very much in favour of equal marriage and are very nice about it. It's just some religious people have a bit of an issue with it. Oh, I was in Lowestoft.
Were you?
Was that where you were picketed?
Yeah, I was picketed by
Yes.
what's his face? What's his name? I'm going to say Norman Tebbit. It's not. It's the Irish Norman Tebbit. You know, Paisley. Ian Paisley's son, Kyle Paisley.
In Lowestoft?
Yeah, they picketed Chrysler Bike. And then he said something I then used on my poster the next year, something about Richard Herring thinks pure art comedy is amusing or something like that.
Oh, right.
It's someone who's barely got out of adolescence. Thought that's pretty good description.
Yeah.
Stick that
Susan
on the poster.
Calman is always an anticlimax. Richard Herring, that kind of.
It is. You should definitely put that on your poster.
I'm definitely putting that on my poster. Yes. Well, no. I would like to have an extra form of marriage. I think some people might object to that.
That'd be good.
It would be good, but
Well, just for a little bit, and then we go. No, we were only kidding.
okay. Well, why don't you start?
I will.
Why don't you try and persuade the David Cameron
Yeah.
to put in an extra law which says that we're better than straight people? Let's see how that flies. Maybe Nigel Farage will take that up as one of his election promises. Yeah, let's do it.
Give it a go. You did a show about one of your many fantastic stand-up shows that you've done.
He's trying his best to pull
About
it back.
they generally don't like me anymore. I don't know.
You have been quite harsh,
I
Richard.
don't know what I did.
And I'm just a girl just sitting on the chair.
Shut up, you rucksack. So,
What? One of my many
you
stand-up
did
shows.
The Ladies Not for Turning, which was about...
Equal
because I think
marriage.
like a lot of people wouldn't remember, but younger people wouldn't even know of Section 28, Clause
No.
28, which you were... Well, I suppose you were growing up with that. It was a bit but you would have been very young when Section 28 was...
No, not particularly.
Really?
I'm 40 this year.
Are you?
Yeah. You fucker.
You don't
40
look,
this year.
you look about the same age as Harry Shearer to me. But he looks really young.
Yeah. No, I remember it very well. It was a very distressing and disturbing time,
Yeah.
to be honest. It was the start of... AIDS had started as well, and you got all those horrific adverts with the icebergs, and it was terrifying. And you weren't really allowed to talk about being gay. And I always remember, because you weren't allowed to promote homosexuality in anywhere that was council-owned, so... any of the schools, or you couldn't have any support groups, you couldn't have anything like that. And of course there was no internet. That's what I keep trying to say to young people.
Yeah.
There was nowhere to find any information, so you thought you were a bit of a freak, to be honest, growing up at that time. Nowadays it's easier for young people, but it wasn't very easy at that time.
Yeah, well, and people did, and other kids at school. I mean, it was because I think all these things that people don't talk about become, kids then know that it's a subject that they should joke about because it's being
Yes.
veiled. So that
Yeah.
and disability, I suppose, as well. When I was at school, those were the jokes were
Yes.
about homosexuality and disability.
Absolutely.
And race. That wasn't just at school. That was the whole country.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, and I'm presuming in Glasgow as well, it was a sort of doubly difficult place.
It wasn't
to be.
particularly. I think there's a lot of religious aspect of it. I mean, there's a lot of, as you know, from kind of Rangers and Celtic and religion. It's less so now, but played a huge part in what school did you go to? Was it Catholic? Was it Protestant? Religion was much more present than it is now in Glasgow. So it's a lot easier now. But looking back on it at the time. It's really why I suffer from depression. I don't like to bring it up, but thought I'd better. Yeah, it's from that time. That's when I really started having problems with depression, and it's not unusual for a comedian to have depression. I'm not special in any way. Most comedians have some form of
But
mental
then
health
what
issues.
I thought was interesting about the Stuart Goldsmith thing was that you were saying you are glad, you wouldn't, you don't think you can be cured of depression in any case,
No.
but you wouldn't want to be because you like the way your brain works because of depression.
Yes, it's horrible, but at the same time, it's beautiful. To be so completely and utterly negative about the world as I am, and pessimistic about absolutely everything, and to never be able to enjoy a single moment of my existence creates lovely comedy.
But we don't like to think of you not being happy, off stage. I mean, I think for a lot of comedians, it's a release valve. And
Yes.
there are some comedians who are happy on stage and depressed off stage.
Yes, a lot of them.
And possibly me. And but there are certainly ones who can get that stuff out on stage and then go and have a nice home life. And you seem a very balanced and reasonable
I seem very
person.
balanced,
I mean,
yeah.
we're not even mentally balanced, but you
Yeah.
seem very.
No, I've got a very happy home life. There's no
Yeah.
question at all. I'm very fortunate in that regard. But I simply think that everything's awful.
Yeah.
My entire outlook is relentlessly negative.
But again, I think that's a comedian thing, and I think it's very
I'd
difficult.
like to be more cheerful, and I apologise. It doesn't mean that I can't do comedy and I'm not a nice person to talk to. It's just afterwards I think you hate me.
Yeah.
That's all that happens. And I'm on the sleeper train home and I'll just sit and cry. I won't, I'll be drunk.
They especially really like you, but I really like you as well. But they can tell they think all that I meant all the stuff I said, and they really hate me now. Now I'm going to go home
I know,
and be
and I'm a
depressed.
lassie that suffers from depression. How could you bastard? No, I think it helps. I think the best comedy that I see is stuff that comes, not that you relate to, I'm not talking about observational comedy, but that I like going to see a comedian, and at the end of the hour at the Fringe, you come out and you know something more about that comedian. Whether or not it's true or not, because that's a different discussion about truth in comedy, it's interesting. It holds your attention for an hour. I find it very difficult to watch a comedian for an hour telling jokes. I get quite bored. I like to see someone ripping their guts out on stage and then putting them back in again. And then you leave and go, God, that was brilliant. That's what I like to see, passion in a comedian, and passion for a subject matter, so that I know that that's not been written in a room somewhere by. And I don't think there's a problem with anyone having writers at all, but I like to know that that person has sweated over that bit of material, and it's real to them. Whether it's true or not, it's real to them, and that's what I like.
Yeah, and I would agree with that, but I think also that by doing that, I mean, the shows I do where I take a subject, and it's not, there will be personal things then, you are opening yourself up in certain ways, but
Yeah.
I always find it kind of helps me as much as anyone else to be able to discuss those things. So you must get some catharsis from discussing these subjects.
Yes.
But then I would just hope that, I mean, I know you want to carry on being able to do the job you do, but it would seem a shame to not think that you could, that one day you could be happy, that you could feel happy and not feel that, because people do like you, obviously, and you are.
Oh yes, and I'm very grateful for their affirmation.
Yeah,
It's necessary.
But you can wait. A lot of comedians, even comedians who aren't depressed, will waste their lives away thinking, "Well, I'm not doing as well as that person,"
Absolutely.
that's always thrown. It is thrown back at me all the time. And I don't mind because I am not doing as well as Stuart Lee. But that comes back. That is on Twitter. That's that would be the way that we can get to him by going. Yeah, well, there was one today, Stuart Lee would be better on Just a Minute than you. And I thought, well, no, he fucking wouldn't. He can't do 2 words without repeating something, so But...
Yes.
But, that's their go. They think, I'm going to undercut you by going this. So there are people out there trying to be that, going, I'm going to get you by making you think about this thing.
Yeah.
But as a comedian, you're already doing those things anyway. I mean,
Yes,
there's certainly people much better than Stuart Lee that I'd rather be. So, if you're going to pick on someone...
I just like to be honest about the process. I just like to be honest about myself. I'm very honest about my foibles and my difficulties. My show at the Fringe this year is about last May. I don't know why I'm telling this, I'll tell you anyway. I had a full nervous breakdown last year.
Right.
Full head fuck.
Right.
And it's about how I got back up on stage again. So it's a laugh a minute, I swear to God. But that's what I wanted to do a show about.
Yeah.
so that people can come and see it and decide what they think about it. But it happened, and it was real, and it was... I can't do comedy that's not about something that's not important to me. I find that very difficult to be vacuous about things. I like to talk about something that's important to me, and whether or not it's important to the audience, I find out as to whether or not they actually enjoy the show, but at least it's important to me. I decided in 2010, after a disastrous year at the Fringe, it was fucking awful. Everyone hated the show. I hated the show. It was terrible. That I would never go back to the Fringe again with a show that even if it went down, that I didn't believe in. So if everyone hates the shows, I don't care because I love the shows.
Yeah.
Instead of doing the shows which I was doing, which was for agents or television bookers or any of that shite, I'm never going to get on those fucking shows anyway, so I may as well just have fun doing a show that I want to do. Apart from 15 to 1. You know, I'm not a shiny 10 minutes on a stand-up show on television kind of comedian. So
No, but I think also by doing what you want to do, which again we saw just with Harry Shearer, is that if you stick to your guns and you take what you're doing very seriously and are fastidious about it, that what you're doing, you know, has a good chance actually of breaking through. So if you're aiming to do something to please someone else, when I very first did start doing stand-up, like in 1990, I was caught between, well, you know, I should do a set that will get me more gigs, or should I do the set that I think's good? And I just did neither. You know, I just ended up being in the middle doing stuff that was neither going to get me work and that I didn't enjoy. And when I came back, and I hated doing stand-up. Then when I came back to doing stand-up, I did the exact same thing. I just said I'm going to just do whatever I think is all right. But I think that's great. But I don't think, you know, it's a shame if you're, as it seems you are, sort of beating yourself up afterwards and thinking that wasn't good enough all the time, you know.
No, I've always been like this. This is not a comedy thing. This has been my entire life, and that's the thing, is it's not about comedy. This is what I've always been like. And I'm much better than I used to be. I am. But I also don't think there's not a problem with saying I am a relentlessly negative person.
No.
When you meet these fucking positive people that don't have a problem with anyone, I just don't understand them. They make me feel unwell. You know, people who've never fought and they're friends with their exes and they like everyone, and I just sit in the corner smoking and drinking going, I don't fucking understand you. But that's why I'm there and they're there.
Yeah.
So I'm there to fill the gap of the blackness, and they're there to go and be Doris Day.
Well, maybe their blackness is just is pressed
No, there
down
are
inside.
some people who just don't have the same problems.
Okay.
And that's it, everything in life is a scale. And I happen to often be kind of at the lower end of... I'm very happy. I'm not saying I'm not happy. I don't even think I'm not happy. I mean, I'm not really happy, but I'm fine, honestly, I'm fine. The more I say that, the less fine I sound. I don't mean, everyone's gone a bit fucking silent, like I'm about to top myself or something. I just think...
It'd be great if you'd tried, just for the podcast, if you could just let us know.
Would this be a double?
Yeah.
Yeah. God, it got great, yeah.
As long as they don't watch all the Chinaman bit, I'll cut that out.
Oh, wouldn't that be a pisser right at the end if I said actually? And then you're like, oh shit, I'm going to have to cut the gold of the Chinaman stuff that we did earlier on. I'm fine. I just don't think there's anything wrong with being honest about things.
There isn't, and it's good. And I think as a comedian, the things, the routines I think, I can't say that on stage, or I'm worried about saying that on stage, the routines that I personally say, I'll do that tonight, and then I go, oh no, I'm not going to do it tonight.
Yeah.
Those always end up being the best routines.
Absolutely.
The ones that you, when you are revealing something yourself, and people like it, because most people will have experienced, if not that level, they'll have experienced that kind of anger about something, and you have to repress it. So I think that's partly what comedy's about, and that's why I would just, for you personally,
yes.
I would hope that by having that release of being able to discuss those things, I'm not trying to cure you.
Little bit.
I want you to carry on being funny.
Yeah. But it's what gives me the funny. This is the thing. This is why I don't want to change that. I've gone through therapy. I know how to cope with everything, and it's all fine. But I don't want to change my head, because my head is what does the thing that I do on stage.
Yeah.
So if you change that, then you'll become a vapid comedian standing on stage telling jokes about shit. And that's not why I gave up my job and why I started doing comedy.
No, I don't think you would though. And I think in my 30s I was quite unhappy for a lot of my 30s, and I thought, and then and if you watch my shows from my 30s, some of them are a bit, there's a sort of anger behind them, which is getting out, and some of it, I look at it and go, I wouldn't do that joke now, but I can understand why I was doing that joke then and where that was coming from. It was allowing that anger out. But I was thinking, but if I lost weight or if I was happy, I wouldn't be funny anymore. And, I'm kind of quite happy now. Oh, fuck. It's all starting to add up.
No, there's just something, I think there's something also very interesting about, you hear a lot of criticism about female comics doing the same kind of stuff about cats and cakes and all that kind of stuff, and not being sure of themselves. And I'm incredibly sure of myself, and I'm sure that I'm a miserable bastard. And I don't have a problem standing on stage and saying, and whether it's uncomfortable for people because it's a woman standing on stage saying, I'm a miserable bastard, when I've sat and listened to many a male comedian say that, then fine, but I am certain of what I am, which is a bit of a miserable bastard. But at the same time, I'm always the butt of the jokes. I'm always the butt of the jokes. And I think that makes it palatable to people when you do it like that. And whether it is strange to see a woman being so honest on stage about all of the things about themselves which are a bit strange, or I'm a bit of a strange person. If I was in the 1930s, I'd have a smoking jacket, I'd have 16 cats and a llama, and I'd be hanging out with some cool writers and everyone would think I was fucking amazing. But I live in Glasgow in a tenement flat and I sit in a dressing gown, and it's not quite as glamorous as it should have been. I was born in the wrong time. I need the time-travelling finger to take me back. I should have been at the Algonquin with Dorothy Parker, pissed and drugged out my tits. I don't take drugs, by the way. I'm on Child's BBC.
Alcohol is a drug, and also heroin's a drug as well.
Alcohol's a little bit of magic juice.
It can be. I'll tell you
Bobby's special juice.
But alcohol's very good for a little bit, and then it goes all wrong again. The other day I had.
Are you worried about me, Richard?
No.
You've turned.
No, I don't mind. I want you
You've
to
turned
carry
from
on.
slightly abusive to kind of going. I want you to be happy. Susan.
I thought I should be nice to you because everyone was having a go at me for being nasty to you, and then I just pretended to like you for a bit. When you're on your train home, I want you to be sleeping.
Richard Denning, and I love him so.
We are back. No, I'm a very confused,
Sorry, was that too
character.
So was that too serious?
No, it's good.
Was that all right?
That's the gold.
Okay.
That's the gold that all the other stuff is for. It's luring you into a false sense of security, then confusion, and then you open up. Okay. Like, oh, no, that was I'm stopping myself.
Filth, Richard.
I'm stopping myself. Like a flower, that's what I was going to say. Like a beautiful flower. Flower, the first sound, not the first sound.
Why don't I have any questions from people from Wales?
Because I think it's because they were more interested in Ned Flanders than... this is a good question. I'll ask you this question.
Oh, okay.
This is for Harry Shearer. Are you excited to know there is going to be a better Godzilla film than the one you were in?
I am very excited by that.
Then, this is Archie van der Vliet has asked these questions. He does then put in brackets, by the way, the general film was bad, not you specifically.
Oh.
So he's, he realises
really
he's been rude. And I forgot to talk to Harry. You must get Harry Shearer back because I wanted to talk about how terrible the Truman Show is, and he's in that. But I thought I should be polite the first time. But I wasn't with you, so maybe. And you've come back. This is your third time, I think, at least fourth.
Yeah, I
maybe.
keep coming back, Richard. Because every single time, it's just a little bit better. I think the next time you will have nothing to say to me because you've exhausted all of your research that you've done by merely following me on Twitter, which is the only research you appear to do.
Yeah. That's because I know we'll find the backpack. That's what we'll do. The backpack and the depression. We'll just find it. We don't need questions.
Nope.
Like other chat shows. If you this is a really hard question. You might not have anything for this.
Okay.
If you were to go on Dragon's Den, have you got an invention that you could put on Dragon's Den that you have always wanted to take to Dragon's Den for the dragons on Dragon's Den? It's a hard question because
It's a hard question.
Because
To be honest, I don't have that amount of time in my head to think of things like that. No, I'm thinking of other important things. Like Helen Mirren.
It could make you a lot of money if you hit the right thing like that.
I'm never going to be an inventor.
Sauce.
I'm not going to be a fucking inventor.
Don't you have just like something that could be improved?
No.
Okay.
If it's there, it's there. If it's good, it's not. Just throw it out. I don't care.
Have you ever seen a ghost?
Yes.
Have you?
Yes.
Tell me about the ghost you've seen. I don't know if you've told me already, but I don't think you have.
My granny had passed away, and I was lying in my bedroom after a funeral, and I was with Muppet, my son, and we both, who's a cat, sorry, before anyone thinks I've left my child at home. I was in bed with Muppet, and I was stroking his wee head, and we both looked up at the same time and saw my granny walking past the bedroom door. Genuinely.
Well, when you say you both saw that...
Yes. The cat looked up at the same time.
Well, we can't be sure what the cat was...
No, I can't. I'm not saying I can testify that the cat actually saw the ghost. But we both looked up at the same time, and I saw the ghost.
Yeah.
And the cat, I am surmising, saw the ghost. So yes, I've seen a ghost.
Did your grandma have a twin sister?
No. And
Was
also,
your grandma actually not really dead?
No, and
Okay.
I also, and this is true, I
Yeah.
was named after my granny, Grace, and but when I was making the decision to give up my job as a comedian, I went to a grave and I said to her, Gran, should I do this or not? And I went and I said, give me a sign, any sign you want, whether it's a good idea. Went home, and one of the ornaments she'd left me when she died was lying on the floor smashed, which some would take as a no. I took it as a yes. Yeah. Yeah, I totally believe in it. I don't believe in spiritualism. I think that's all a crock of shit.
Yeah.
But I believe in ghosts and stuff like
So
that.
what? So when we die, we're going to be floating around outside the door?
Yeah. Wreaking vengeance on people who have done us ill.
Oh no, fuck.
Yeah. That's the bit I'm looking forward to when I die.
I'm going to die before you.
Are you?
Yeah.
And are you going to watch me?
I will.
Are you?
I'm going to watch you.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm going to sense you.
I'm going to leave ectoplasm all over. You wake up.
Why is it always about that, Richard?
There's a big sexual tension between us
Some
that is
people
unresolved
Some
because...
people... Is it like moonlighting? It is, isn't it? It's like moonlighting. Will
It
they,
is.
won't they? But if we ever did it, then it would be ruined, Richard.
But, you know...
If we ever did it, if we actually did it,
I think we should
it
do
would be revolting and it would ruin everything.
Neither of us want to do it, and that's why we should do it.
Maybe we should do it for comic relief next year.
Well, we had... In one of the Edinburgh Fringe podcasts, we had the idea that we should do an Edinburgh show where you and I will have sex on stage.
Yes.
Whilst our wives are sort of have to stand and watch it. And neither of us, and the audience will be there, and neither of us really want to do it. So the play, it will be,
Why did we think
the
that was
piece
a
will
good
be
idea, Richard?
Because I think it will be an interesting theatrical piece to see.
Oh, I see.
To see a lesbian having sex with a man who doesn't want to have sex with her whilst their wives watch.
That would win us the Edinburgh Comedy
I think
Award.
it would.
Oh, you're not eligible?
Well...
If it was
I
a double
think,
act, if it was a double act, you
yeah.
would be.
Well, I don't know. I don't know why I'm not eligible because I'm not successful. And I was in a double act. It's very confusing, the Edinburgh comedy. I think I'm eligible, but I've just never done a good enough show to be.
No, I've never seen any of your shows, but I've heard they're smashing.
I've got some DVDs I can give you if you want to take them away with you.
Shit, my Mac doesn't take DVDs. I can't watch it on the way home, sorry.
You can download them from www.gofasterstripe.com, some of the early ones.
I'm on series 7 of Grey's Anatomy. I just need to finish the other 3 series and then I'll be right on that.
Have you done your shows on DVD?
No.
Why not? Chris Evans will do them. He loves good comedy.
I was thinking about maybe doing that at some point in the future,
there you
but
go.
He's
gone actually. I've pointed at him.
I just refuse to. I don't think I wouldn't do it on DVD. I would do it as the download.
Yeah.
DVDs. Who wants to buy a DVD?
Shut up! I've got DVDs. Some of them I've bought on already, and now they're feeling stupid. And like an old.
I'll totally do DVDs. I think that's the way forward.
There's videos there. There's some laser discs. In case Danny Baker turns up, he's got loads of laser discs.
I haven't done it yet. No, I'll maybe do it at some point.
You should. But also, I think it's quite nice just to that the thing exists, beyond. Some people disagree. Who was I talking to who disagreed? Can't remember now. One of the people I'd done before. I don't care. Once it's over, that's it. I forgot. I don't even know what we just said earlier on.
I feel so bad that I'm such a fleeting particle.
Yeah.
In your life, Richard.
But this is the only time I'm only alive when I'm on stage. So you get me when at my best. But then I But wow. I burn, I'm burning like a firework in the sky. I'm burning like a
wow.
And exploding.
Baby, you're a firework.
Look at the people. They're just gasping. They can't believe what they're seeing. It's so beautiful.
Do these people come and see this show all the time?
Some of them do. This lady Olivia does. She's a butler. That guy is usually another butler, unless he's spent some money on getting some more hair. It's a different guy. Are you a butler as well? I'm a psychiatrist. You're a psychiatrist.
I knew he was looking at me fucking funny through that whole...
He was rubbing his hands.
He was like, oh, hey.
Just a big pile of money. That's all you can see. I don't know you. You're a psychiatrist, so you don't come very often. Or you sit at the back. Have you? Yeah,
have you?
That's good.
What made you come and sit at the front tonight?
Olivia had a spare ticket because the other butler...
The other one.
Is working as a butler. He's butling.
How do you feel sitting at the front? Do you feel more of a connection to us as people? You feel more vulnerable? Wow, that's a shame.
I have. Do you want to get involved in the Harry Calman Sex on Stage show?
What we could do is we could improv the Toxvig lift scene.
Yeah, you could be Sandy Toxvig. You don't speak Danish.
That's all right, sweetie. We would do it all in English for Richard. She wouldn't speak Danish.
It'd all be French.
Yeah.
Bang! Tackline, he comes a lot.
Hiya.
David is a nuclear physicist. He comes a lot.
Oh, hi.
These two have never been at the front before.
Yeah.
They'd never all sit at the front again after what just happened before we came on. I can't see the people over there. Hello.
Do they all come? Oh, hiya.
Oh, they're putting the lights on. Those three empty seats are always empty.
Yeah.
Once I saw like an old ghostly Scottish woman there that who broke my ornament. That is my ornament. Is it offensive to do an impression of your pet?
Listen, it's no more offensive than the gay stuff earlier on to take the piss out of my dead grandmother. I mean, it's just adding to the joy of the
It was a beautiful tribute to her. Hendrik Mirren. She's looking down. She's... Sorry.
Right. No.
I've never apologised on stage before. Stephen Merchant, I apologised quite a lot once we got off.
What did you do to him?
No.
I don't listen to this podcast.
You shouldn't. You don't.
What did you do? Did you do something bad?
Yeah. I did an impression of his dead grandma. I should have learned from that one. He said, never do that again. I said, I won't. And then I went, oh, yeah. Should have listened to Stephen Merchant. Oh.
We've covered a lot tonight.
We've done very well. You've got a train to get, but not for an hour. We can stay here. Get you on the back of the bike.
I'm worried about them.
Don't worry about them.
I am worried about them.
Yeah, don't worry about them.
Why am I not allowed to worry about them?
They can go if they want, can't they? It's not... The doors aren't locked.
Because they're not going anywhere, and I would have thought by now they would have started going.
I know, they can't wait. They can't wait to see what will happen next. What will Rich Herring do next?
Can I have another beer, please? And we'll see what happens. No.
We can, we'll no, we've... Give her another beer. That comes off your wages, then. Who would pay if we did...
No, don't ask
If we did... If we did a show in Edinburgh where we had to have sex with each other against both of our wills... I mean, it's an interesting comment on all sorts of things.
Who would force us?
Who would come... Well, we said we're going to do it,
Someone
but
would have
neither
to
of us
force us.
In the box. Oh, in the box, like with Marietta Frostrup.
What?
She had people having sex in a box.
Sex
No good doing it in a
box?
box because then no one could see we were doing it. The
Someone would have to force us to have sex.
Yeah.
Who would have enough of a present to frighten me sufficiently to make me coitally intercept with you? Alex. Thanks very much. Round of applause for that fella. Claire Balding doesn't frighten me. Claire Balding's not a frightening woman. She's a lovely woman, Claire Balding.
I think Helen Mirren could. If you had sex with me, then Helen Mirren would do anything you wanted after.
Yes, I would do it now. Let's do it now. If
I'd
Helen Mirren was going to have sex with me, I would do anything.
I'd have to have something similar.
Well,
lined up.
who would be your...
Amy Pond, the character of Amy Pond, but not the. And
So not Karen Gillan?
No, definitely
The character
not. No
of
way.
Amy Pond? You wouldn't do
No.
Karen
no
Gillan?
way.
That's
I'm not
really
s-
quite vehement.
I'm not sick. I like Amy Pond.
So Karen Gillan would have to pretend to be Amy Pond?
Yeah, not pretend she would have to be Amy Pond. No, I don't want her doing a kind of parody of Amy Pond. I want her to be Amy Pond.
Heaven forfend someone did a parody of somebody. So she would have to be Amy Pond.
Mm-hmm.
For you.
Yeah, and then we.
So you would say, if Karen Gillan came up to you naked and said, right, Herring, I'm gonna, let's do it, you'd go, no, Karen.
Yeah, I would say that. Yeah.
You would say that?
My wife has agreed that I can have sex with Karen Gillan if she's Amy Pond, but not if she's Karen Gillan.
That's because
So,
she knows it's
okay.
never gonna happen.
So it's a bit like that bloke
Is there-
with Scully Hansen, but.
Is there anyone else? Let's take Amy Pond out of the equation. That's not going to happen.
My wife.
It's a bit late for that, sweetie.
There probably is. I'm trying to think who I've liked recently. I like 13 from House. But again, I think the character rather than the actress.
Is there anyone?
Richard Osman from Pointless? No.
He's a kind and gentle lover. Is there anyone?
All the quiz show people are at it together.
Yeah.
Once you're in the quiz show club, you can have
Is
anyone you want.
there anyone real that you've ever fantasized about, Richard? Because at the moment it seems like it's always characters. Is there any real people you've ever fantasized about?
Jenny Agutt from 1976.
It's very specific,
Yeah.
Richard.
It is.
Anyone more recent than 1976?
I've seemed to fall in love with unobtainable people. Either they are fictional or
Any
they exist at different
politicians?
times.
Politicians?
Anne Widdecombe.
Anne Widdecombe.
Well, I don't fancy her, but you know, it'd be a talking point, wouldn't it? You could be. I could do my autobiography. Could be. I took Anne Widdecombe's virginity. That could be the title. Subheading. At first, I had to have sex with Susan Calman.
That doesn't make me sound very good, to be honest. No, I don't know. Okay, so the Fringe show I think is good. We'll get a venue. I'm just worried. We'd have to do it every night.
I just wondered if people would. It might just be a one-off thing. We could hire a really big,
one-off.
big hall, but only if people who would want to see that show. Just cheer if you'd like to see it. I knew you would. Didn't you? Who would definitely not come and see that show under any circumstances? What if you got to have sex with Karen Gillan after you'd watched it? Cheer now. Yeah, so that Karen. If you can get Karen Gillan on board.
So the key to this is Karen Gillan.
Karen Gillan being prepared to have sex with me and any.
Why can I not have sex with Karen Gillan?
You can, yeah. You chose Helen Mirren. That was your choice.
Well, we're more likely to get Karen Gillan than Helen Mirren, aren't we?
Why have you chosen two people with names that rhyme?
On our
Purely by
budget,
accident,
we're
yeah.
more likely to get Karen Gillan than Helen Mirren.
What is our budget? You seem to have worked out a
Okay.
budget for it.
Okay.
I think we could charge a lot for tickets.
I'll put in
Yeah.
£1,000.
Okay.
So our budget is £1,000 to get Karen Gillan.
Yeah, I reckon that'll do.
Can we get
Yeah.
Karen Gillan?
I'll put in 200. But if I put in 1,000 as well, that's like prostitution.
Does
like I'm
anyone
saying,
know
I'm paying-
Karen Gillan? Do you know Karen
I
Gillan?
think someone I know does know her. Who was it? What was it? The guy who does my photographs, Steve Brown, does my photographs for Edinburgh. He does all the photographs for Doctor Who. He says
Right.
she's very nice.
But he doesn't know her.
Well, he takes photos of her, so he's hung around with her, so he could probably...
But he can't phone her up and say, we've got £1,000, will you have sex with Richard Herring and Susan Calman?
No, I mean, I think he'd have
the
to...
Fringe?
That wouldn't be the first thing he said. He'd have to lead up to that. Go, hi, yes, me, Steve, remember I took the photos? Remember, yeah, that's good, have you been? Yeah, oh, you're doing some more acting and stuff, that's good. I've been taking more photos. I've been taking photos of Richard Herring, actually, he's a good... Have you heard of him? No? Okay, he's... Used to do a double act with Stuart Lee. Oh, yeah, you know him. Okay. Well, he's... I'll email you a picture of him. You can email one of the pictures he's taken where I look really good.
Yeah.
Because he's good. He can sort of cheat.
Yeah.
It's nature.
Yeah.
Make me look quite nice.
Yeah.
And then to go, what do you want to hook up? And then we'll...
We have to tell her it's a show and not a date.
No, that's the first...
You're not offering her £1,000 for sex. It's for the show. It's the artistic show.
I'm trying to do a realistic way we're going to get
How do we stretch this
her.
out over an hour?
I think the repugnance we feel for each other sexually should make that okay.
I don't know. It's been a long time since I've... would it not be quite quick?
No. But, hey, because I'm 46 years old, that is the reason.
Does it not get quicker the older you get? Does it get longer?
Well,
not longer.
I wish it did.
Does it take longer?
Gets less reliable. I just, like now, when you're 46,
yeah.
you just, you're lucky if it comes out the end, to be honest. That's...
Is it true? Sorry. Is it true that sperm changes texture the older you get?
I haven't really been feeling mine so much.
I just read that in a magazine.
Well...
Is someone giving you a
Has
signal
anyone...
to stop?
No, I
I
think we just made George laugh. I think I was just looking at him backstage.
I thought someone was giving us a signal.
No, I think he was either laughing or he's on the phone.
Are you going for questions from the audience?
No, I was going to ask if any young man could give me a sperm sample, because I can't now... There's no way for me to test that, because I am now old, so I can't feel I can spunk up in my hand for you, if you like, and we can both have a prod around, but without a control young man sperm. As a scientific experiment.
We need to find the youngest man in the audience, then.
I don't think necessarily the youngest man. I mean, the youngest over 18, I think we'd have to
What? I'm assuming they're all over 18.
No, there's sometimes kids... There'll be like a
Shut up,
13-year-old in this.
You fucking kids! Rich, there are not any fucking kids in, are there?
Sneak in. Are there any 13-year-old boys in who'd like to... I mean, it'll be very, very easy to get a sample from them. They've probably... we've been going for 3 hours. Probably, if there's a 13-year-old, they've probably had a wank during this at some point.
There aren't children in, though, are there?
Are there any 13-year-olds in? 14? 15? 60? Who's young?
And we're not
Come on, let's make this happen. Let's give the people who pay for the video something a bit extra today. Oh my God. It's been good. Have you enjoyed it so far?
Yep.
And when I say so far, there's a lot more to go.
You haven't written anything down. Ask me. Don't stop looking at the fucking book. There's nothing in the fucking book, Richard.
There's loads in here. I'm just checking.
Ask me a question from someone else.
Have you tried to...
There's a man. She didn't mean that. But go on, what are you going to say? No, he's going to ask if you've ever tried to lick your own vagina, I think is what he's going to say. Am I right? Yeah.
No. I wouldn't see the point when you have so many wonderful things. Cats? Oh, God, jeez. My cats are not my sex. Oh.
David Baddiel. No, knows about that. That's a little callback. We've listened to loads of it. Yes, well...
ask me some quick-fire questions,
Quick-fire questions.
Quick-fire questions, Richard. Let's finish this off.
Would you rather have...
Yeah?
No, I was... well, it's not quick-fire.
Right.
Let me think of something that can end this living hell that we have found ourselves...
How do we end this, Richard? How do we ever end it? It never seems to end, Richard.
It doesn't.
It's just you and I constantly circling each other, this parade of sexual tension.
Most people
Will it ever fucking end, Richard?
No, it can't end. That's why, because if it does, then the moonlighting effect goes.
That's true.
The minute the tension
Come
is
on.
broken.
What do you want? What do you want?
Would you rather be a cow or a badger? And why?
Badger.
Why?
They are equipped for self-defense purposes. They're quite vicious badgers, and they have lovely big fat bottoms. That's the answer.
That's a good answer.
Yeah.
If you want to find out what Harry Shearer would rather be, you're going to have to subscribe to the for £1 a month, and then you can find out. It'll be on that channel. That was good.
Well,
That'll get people. It was a cow. Giving it away.
Come on.
Have you ever seen a Bigfoot?
No.
I thought that one was going to come good just at that.
No.
I thought that was going to be the one.
No.
How did the death of Thomas à Becket affect the Anglo-Papal relations in the 12th century?
I think it was much like, in my head, the way I felt when Take That split up.
Yeah.
There was a lot of disappointment.
What is love anyway?
Love is someone allowing you to have, putting on a mask of Helen Mirren.
That's good. They put it on. When you eat asparagus, does your wee smell of asparagus?
Never eat asparagus.
Why not?
Because your wee smells funny. No. Why did you do that, Richard? Do you know what was happening is we were having a good conversation. There had been very few racist kind of undertones. And then you made the typical vegetable, Scottish, blah, 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 blah.
Wouldn't grow in the Scottish climate.
That's not what you meant, was it, Richard? You meant it would... You said it because I'm Scottish, and then there's an insinuation that we don't eat vegetables and we're not fit people. That's what it was, wasn't it, Richard? Could the witness please vocalise?
Yes, I am
Don't
sorry.
eat asparagus, makes your wee
sorry.
smell funny.
Okay. Does your wife ever eat asparagus?
Yes.
Does her wee smell of asparagus have to do...
Yes, and she makes me smell it.
She smell it? Good. At last, someone has admitted that. This is a good question. Have you ever put anything up your urethra? It's in my emergency question.
No! Why would you put something up your urethra?
Some people
You put it inside other orifices, but not your urethra.
Some people
That's
do
a tiny
that.
hole. What pleasure would anyone get from putting up your urethra? Jesus, no. What kind of fucking madman are you?
It's in the book.
No, ask me.
I just asked what's in the book. It's not my.
Right.
It's not your question.
Ask me another one.
Did you ever play, when you were a child, did you ever play games against yourself? Like snooker, for example, would be an example.
Yes.
Did you?
Yes.
Did you do commentaries of it?
Yes.
What sports did you play against yourself?
Well, I didn't play sports necessarily. I played games like Kick the Can.
Okay,
Kick
against
the can.
yourself.
Yeah, against myself.
What are the rules of Kick the Can?
There's a can,
Yeah.
and you hide and kick it and then go and hide. And when you play it yourself, it's a bit sad.
Yeah.
But I used to run out and go, ah, and then go, ah. Subutio.
I played a lot of Subbuteo.
Myself, yeah.
I
And snooker. I used to play snooker
I
myself.
had leagues of Subbuteo.
Yeah. I used to play Subutio and snooker myself.
Did you cheat in Subbuteo so that
Yes.
your team won?
Yes. And lawn bowls. I have my own lawn bowls. Deal with it.
Is lawn bowls the larger ones rather than bulls? They're kind of
the ones that
the one
the
that old
Commonwealth
people-
Games. It's a proper sport. Lawn bowls. Got one set of lawn bowls.
Lots of people die playing that. They really do. They
No, they
genuinely
don't.
do. It's one of the
Because
sport.
they're old.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not
But
an inherently dangerous sport.
It's a good statistics, though, isn't it? I think it's like more people die playing lawn bowls than, other dangerous
I'm not going to
sports.
die playing lawn bowls.
You might do. If you do, don't come back. No.
One more, Richard. Come on. Make it good.
If you come back, if you die playing lawn bowls, you come back, and if you're holding a lawn bowl in your hand, I'll know to give up being a comedian.
I am so doing that.
And if you do that, I'll give up being a comedian.
Will you?
Yeah.
It's almost reason to make an end of the night tonight. That would be quite a...
It would be good if you actually committed
It'd be
suicide
good,
on
wouldn't
the podcast.
Yeah.
That would be ideal.
That would be a ratings winner,
Be
wouldn't it?
amazing
You'd
publicity.
be on the front page of all the papers.
I
then,
would.
wouldn't you?
Especially when they listen to all the stuff I said to firstly goad you into it and then say, yes, please do that. Please don't. If you're going to kill yourself, please wait a week or so before you do it. So no,
Yeah,
it can't.
you went, no, do it now.
So it can't
do
come.
it now.
So it can't come back to me.
Yeah.
But,
Edited together, this could be really bad for you, Richard.
I think even just let as it is.
I know. It's not the best, but right. One more.
Well, I'll give you one more question. That's a question for Adam Buxton. That's what made me laugh. What have you tried for the first time this year / recently? If you haven't tried anything. Have you done anything? I went skiing for the first time this year. Have you done anything new this year?
Not this year, but just last year.
Yeah,
I went
that'd be
pony
fine.
trekking.
No one's going to look it up.
I went pony trekking
Pony trekking.
in Iceland with Phil Tufnell.
You did the same show as me.
Yeah.
When I went to where did I go? It's long.
Almost
It's late
there.
at night.
Yeah.
Where did Armenia I went to with David Baddiel?
Yeah, I went to Iceland with Phil Tufnell.
Yeah.
The country, not the shop. That'd be a dull show.
How was Phil Tufnell in real life?
Lovely fella.
Was
it was
he-
slightly awkward because I don't watch cricket, don't understand cricket, and didn't know who he was. But after we got past that, it was fine. He went, I'm Phil Tufnell. I went, he's a lovely fella, really nice fella, actually. Yeah. But we went pony trekking.
That wasn't all you did, though.
No, we did.
You
some
did
other
really difficult things when you went up a mountain.
Abseiled down a crevasse.
How does that cost
Went,
loads of money?
Fishing in the middle of the North Atlantic in the middle of a storm. Almost died 3 times on that television shoot.
Yeah.
Brilliant
I
times.
got my picture drawn by a caricaturist. It was pretty hairy at times, I have to say, with David Baddiel.
He almost died on the back of a pony, and I think the thing is, if there's one thing, I've thought about dying a lot, Richard.
Yes, me too.
And I've never thought about dying next to Phil Tufnell in Iceland. You know, when you think you're going to die, you've got a romantic vision of how it might be, and it's glamorous, and maybe in a jacuzzi with One Direction or something. Not with Phil Tufnell in Iceland.
No.
It's not how I thought it was going to end, Richard. So I fought against it. Because that's not how I didn't want the obituary to say, died in Iceland next to Phil Tufnell.
It'd be a great Trivial Pursuit question. Who did Phil Tufnell die in a volcano in
Maybe I'd
Iceland?
end up in Pointless. There's a question.
Yeah.
Famous deaths next to Phil Tufnell. I don't know if anyone else has died next to Phil Tufnell. He's a lovely fellow, though. He's very nice.
Be a nice person to have around if you were dying.
If I was going to die,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean? If there was a celebrity, if there was a celebrity you were going to die next to, who would it be?
It's a good question.
Not Amy Pond.
I'm gonna write that in my emergency questions. Very good. I would like to die next to. Are they going to die as well, or are they just watching me
they're
as I die?
stroking your head
As I'm dying.
you die. They're the last face you see
I would-
as you pass.
I'd quite like Barry Cryer to be the. Because A, it would mean Barry Cryer had outlived me, which would be cool. Because I worry about Barry Cryer. I really love Barry Cryer.
He's wonderful, yeah.
I don't want Barry Cryer to ever die.
No.
But he probably will one day.
Okay, let me ask you. No, that's the last person you want to see as you die.
Barry Cryer, I want to see his little pudgy old face.
No.
And then we go,
Who's the last? What's the last? Not your wife.
Okay.
What
I don't want to see
celebrity
my
would you like
wife's face.
to?
I've seen enough of that.
What celebrity would you like to be stroking your head as you die?
Why can't I have Barry Cryer? I would like to Who's reassuring? It's hard, isn't it, when you have to answer the questions?
Yeah,
Much easier asking them. It's a good one. That's not that good because it hasn't led to any good answers. I would like...
It's the quality of the guest.
I would like Goldie from Blue Peter.
Who?
Goldie the dog from Blue Peter. Goldie, I thought you were dead. No, Richard, I've come back. You were my... Why have you chosen me, not Shep or Petra? It seems an odd... Of all the Blue Peter pets, why have you come up with Goldie? I don't know, Goldie. It's just I thought you'd be real. I don't want Shep looking down at me as I'm dying with his little dinosaur face. I want the friendly face. Do you remember Goldie?
Yeah, yes.
Nice one.
That's a really odd thing to say. We've all had a nice night out, haven't we?
No one would have predicted that, would they? If you could have taken a sweepstake.
No one.
No one would have got that.
No one.
I tell you what I'd like. Goldie from Blue Peter, as well. I didn't Goldie on the lead. Goldie.
Goldie.
Yeah.
As in Goldie the rapper.
Yeah.
Wow.
And Goldie the rapper's going, come on, Goldie, we've got to go. And Goldie's going, no. Just got to comfort Richard. I've been working so hard this week, and I've now just through this whole podcast, I've reached a time of hysteria. I think I might actually be dead. And what I imagine is Goldie's paw touching my head now.
Well, do you know what, Richard? I was glad I was here to see it.
Good.
Right, well, that's been nice.
I think you've got through 3 beers. It's not been bad. So, look, we should probably let the prisoners go.
Yeah. Sorry, everyone. Sorry.
People will be wondering where they are. It's like the Malaysia aircraft thing. It won't mean anything to the people at home. They'll know what's happened by now. So,
Richard.
yeah, what?
Did you need to do that?
Got a laugh.
What did happen though, eh?
I don't know. It's exciting, isn't it?
God, it's weird, isn't it?
Hopefully they're all okay.
Yes.
On holiday. So it might be nice if the guy just taking them. We're going on a nice holiday. We booked a hotel for you.
Okay, I was genuinely wanting to have a chat, but now you've gone into a bad thing because the Daily Mail will put that on the front page with lesbian hopes passengers are dead. So,
I don't think there's any way of knowing.
No. Thanks very much, everyone.
We probably should have gone before
Yeah.
either before I said that or just... I have a feeling the podcast at home will have ended by now. It's just a feeling I have. So that's why it's worth coming along to the actual podcast, because you see me say awful things. So I'd like to thank Susan Calman.
Thanks for having me.
And also, this is going out to all the victims/survivors, as it says. Whichever it may be, I hope it's survivors.
I'm not involved in this at all.
Thank you very much, Susan Calman.
Thank you.
How'd you like them sky potatoes?